Oh, where'd I go? Well, there I am. Howdy, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. How's it going? Welcome back. And how's you going there, eh, buddy? Thank you very much for shooting in. Joining a fella here for another one. Another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 132 here today on this Sunday, August the 10th, 2025. Speaking of five, just a frog's hair past 5 p.m. local time. It's mountain time. And that's because, as per usual, we're coming at you live from the foothills of the Canadian Rocky Mountains, right here in southwestern Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada land there, eh, buddy? Purdy, Alberta. And she's a purdy piece out there today, I tell you what. Roughly 30 degrees Celsius right now. It's like mid-90s Fahrenheit to my American friends. So it's hot. And it's humid, which is normally not the case here. It's usually drier than a fart convention around here. But we had rain on and off quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. So the humidity index, the humidex, is that what they call it? Humidex? I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist guy, but it's way higher than normal. So everybody's walking around with mud butt because you're sweating like a whore in church. And, hey, it is what it is. I'll take it. It's beauty. It's lovely. Went for a little bit of a walkabout earlier in the day here and a little bit of a breeze, so you didn't feel really hot. But when you're not used to the humidity, it just zaps your power, doesn't it? Just zaps your energy. Normally I can walk for hours, but I was out there for maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour tops, and I'm like, yeah, time to turn around and go home. She's hot and soggy. That's fine. It's that time of year where it cools off a little at night, unless we get a lot of cloud cover, to hold the heat in. It cools off a bit at night, so I'm not really losing any sleep. Tossing and turning from the heat. Last summer, that was a different story. Woo! It's tossing and turning like a stack of flapjacks. Hey, keep it down with that motorcycle out there, buddy. Try to do a show here, eh? Jeez. I mean, have fun on your motorcycle. Have fun while it lasts, because summer's short, bud, but take her easy there, eh? Anyway, all that said and done, beautiful day. Love it. And my favorite day of the week, Sunday fun day, and I get to spend it with all of you. So thank you for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. Woo! Woo! As mentioned, episode 132 here today for the live show. We're doing another Pedestrian Oblivion show. Recently found some footage from San Francisco. I think this is from 1905, and it's just prior to President Roosevelt visiting the city. So they had a parade route all set up. Now, we've seen old footage of San Francisco in the past where they mount the old camera on the front end of a streetcar, tram, trolley thing, and it makes its way clickety-clacky through the city. This one's different. This is a camera mounted in an automobile. That's right. They're taking the parade route, which mostly focuses down Market Street from what I understand is kind of the main thing down there in San Francisco. I don't know. I've never been to Market Street. I've been to San Francisco. Just a layover or a stopover, I should say, on my way to Los Angeles. But anyway, that said, we've all seen the footage of the trolley going down the track there, and it makes it to I think that's the ferry, the San Francisco ferry terminal, right? And then it does a loop and heads back. But this one different. It's a little janky and shaky. Very, very telling. Because I'm having trouble here. I'm stuttering like an old lady. Sorry. As is the case with the pedestrian Oblivion footage, we're going to have a good time with this one. It's short but sweet. It's just another edition of pedestrians, completely oblivious to dangerous traffic. There's horses and buggies. There's trolleys. There's automobiles. There's people on bicycles. It's pandemonium. And people are just, well, you'll see, whipping in and out of traffic, not looking where they're going. It's harrowing. Guy my age will catch a heart attack right quick watching this footage, bud. So thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well out there. If you haven't already, please give a guy one of these. You know, it just helps to push me out into that. And, you know, do the others just to help as well. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks to everybody who's already subscribed and shared. Appreciate it. And of course, as always, if you're watching this after the live, thank you very, very much for your support as well. Really appreciate it. Links below for everything we're going to cover here. Of course, we're going to go to the Wikipedia and see what they say about the San Francisco streetcar trolley system. Because I didn't even know this until recently. I thought they just had the cable car, you know, the under the street cable that pulls the trolleys, ding, 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 you know, rice-a-roni. Because, you know, I'm a naive, sheltered Canadian. So I didn't know. They had both going. They had the overhead electric line, cable car, streetcar, tram, and then they had the underground cable pull car. I had no idea. So we're going to look at a history of a little bit of that, and we're going to look at, you know, Market Street specifically. And I think what we'll do is we'll do the usual. We'll take a mid-show break, give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek. Then when we come back, we'll look at some. I've got some footage, and I've also got some a smaller folder of photographs. I think a couple dozen. Just some of the buildings, Market Street, and then just a couple of nice, long, sort of wide shots of old-timey Market Street. So we get to see a few of the different buildings and just, you know, life as it happens back then. Most of the photos I've got are from about 1895 to, you know, pre-WW1. There might be, I think there's the odd one in the batch from the 20s. But that's it. So yeah, links below for everything. Also links below for how you can get a hold of a guy. Email, BitChute, MeWe, and all whatnot. And also on the Rumble, which, of course, we're broadcasting simultaneously. So welcome to everybody on the HooTubes and on the Rumble. How's it going, eh? So before we get the ball rolling, get the gosh darn dumpster fire lit here, let's say hello to everybody in the chat, in the box, see how everybody's doing. How's your weekend? It might be Monday for a lot of you, actually. So if so, then happy Monday, I guess. Like, I know for Hippie, technically it's Monday. Howdy, Hippie. Good to see you. Lone Frog. Howdy. Welcome. Realm Dweller over on the Bumble. Good to see you. How you doing? BMW Chick over on the Bumble as well. Howdy. Hello, hello. Is that Quace? Quace? I'm sorry. I apologize. A new friend to the channel. I butchered your name right out of the gates, so that probably doesn't feel good. Sorry about that. But welcome. Howdy. Good to see you. Dragon Sage in the box. How's she going there, bud? A fellow Canuck. I think I saw somebody else over here somewhere. Tidal! Hey, loud motorcycle guy. Tidal's here. Good to see you, Tidal. How you doing? Old World, Michigan in the box. Howdy, howdy. Water the Trees here as well. Good to see you, bud. How are you? Channel Fitty Tree. Channel 53. I think I saw Baja. There's Baja. Baja in the box. Old World Mi'kmaq in the chat, in the box. It's a scorcher out in Eastern Canada, Nadia land. Quay Nitap, good to see you, my friend. Kathy Broughton, hello, hello. Howdy, howdy. Martin is here, Martin 11. Over on the Bumble as well, howdy. Thank you very much, everybody. Good to see all of you. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, your Monday, if it's early Monday. Hope it's going well for you. Hopefully you're not experiencing extreme heat with high humidity. Just saying. Just saying. It's not the best. It's not the best. But I'll take it. You know, this is the first summer. And of course, now that a fella's saying this, I'm going to put a big giant hex on it, a big jinx on the whole thing. But, knock on wood, because of the rain, not a lot of wildfires and forest fires here at Purdy, Alberta. Unfortunately, a couple, but not out of control, big, huge ones, like last summer, or the summer before, or the summer before that. Or, yep, you guessed it, the one before that, and so on. When I was a kid, we didn't have bloody fires, wildfires and forest fires every summer where it was smoky all summer. It looked like a hazy fog, and you were coughing and wheezing, sputtering like an old Dodge. These last few years, man, somebody's messing around and doing something on purpose for some reason with these fires. Anyway, that's a whole different show. But I'll take the rain and then the heat and humidity over the smoky wildfires and forest fires any day. There's a few in British Columbia, just to the west of me, so that's not the best. That is not fun at all. So be careful out there, because if it ain't fires, it's floods. And if it ain't floods or fires, it's tornadoes. So, yeah. Channel 53 says it's been better here, weather-wise. That's good. Good. Hippie Shake. Over in Wales, it's been a cooler day. Cooler day today. It's kind of getting to be that time of year, you know, the dog days of summer, right? What am I smoking? Right now I'm smoking some cigarettes. Don't smoke there, kids. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. Keeps going out, though, because I'm blabbering instead of taking a drag off the dart. The dart. We call them darts in Canada. Hey, I'm gonna go for a dart there, buddy. Hey, you got a dart? Can you spare a dart, bud? Cousin Vinny. Vincent in the box. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. It was a pleasure, my friend. Because, you know, you got Frankie Fingers, and then you get Cousin Vinny, huh?
So what you're saying is Frankie Fingers is New West Reset?
Frankie Fingers is New West Reset. I don't understand what I've been trying to tell you. Frankie Fingers is New West Reset, Frankie Fingers.
So it's the same guy. It's the same guy.
Yes, it's the same guy. What do you think I've been trying to tell you? I've been trying to tell you, Frankie Fingers, New West Reset, Frankie Fingers.
There's no way Frankie Fingers is New West Reset.
Popping a smoke. They call it something else in the UK. Yeah, they call it a fag. That's right, they call it a fag. Got a fag. We also call them a butt as well. B-U-T-T, butt. I'm going to go for a butt. A quick butt there, bud. Hey, buddy, I'm going to grab a butt. Sounds like you're going to go and pinch some lady's hind end, but you ain't doing it. Nope, you're just going to have a smoke, a cigarette, a dart. But don't smoke, kids. It's not good. Yeah, coffin nail. I'm just putting another nail in the coffin, eh? I'll be right back. Be right back. Howdy, Stephanie. Babylon Fox in the box. How do I send a video? To me? You could send it as an attachment through Gmail to my email address. It's probably the easiest. If you do not like the goggle and don't have Gmail, I think you can still do it, but I'm not sure what you click, but it's basically, I think you could add it as an attachment. Now, if you want to send a link in the box, in the chat, I think I have it rigged so you can't do that because I was getting spam there for a while, eh? And I don't like that much, bud. You know, trolls coming out of the woodwork and spamming you with all kinds of BS and shenanigans and, you know, so on and so forth and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Shenanigans.
Gmail. All right, perfect. Yeah, you could send me there with the, www.newwestreset@gmail.com there. Yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you. What'd you do? Did you do a little snooping around? Little boots on the ground somewheres? Or did you just find something really neat? By the way, yeah, send me some stuff. That's why I put the links in the description below. If you got some old photos or video or something you want to share with me, you know, I can put it up on the show, on the channel, you know. Channel 53 says, I bet you get all kinds of stupid troll stuff, mods, and Frank. You know what? Not too bad around here. It comes in waves. As soon as you reach certain channel benchmarks, like as soon as you reach a certain number of subscribers on the YouTubes, it seems like that opens the floodgates for all the ne'er-do-wells to come out of every nook and cranny. And then it kind of subsides. And then you reach another milestone and more, you know. But really, I think a lot of them are bots now. I mean, you can click on their name and go and check out their channel. If they've been around for a while, they're obviously not a bot. If they've only been around a few months, you know, then it's like, it's just a bot. Because they always say basically the same thing. Oh, so you mean to tell me that there was a huge worldwide conspiracy that... It's like, no, you know. I usually ignore it. But if they pester me too much, I'm like, did you even read anything in the description box below the video that you're commenting on? And did you even bother to go to a guy's channel's homepage and click the about section, where I put a whole blah, 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 explaining what I'm all about, with all the caveats and so on, you know, so I can hold your hand and lead you through it like you're a dumb child. But that's not enough. But it's not bad. Like lately, it's been pretty good. I have moderators mostly because it's easy for them to help out with sharing links and so on and so forth and whatnot. I mean, sure, if there's, you know, somebody trolling, usually I just, like I said, I put them on a no mind list and just let them, you know, you give them an inch and they'll take a mile, but then they wrap it around their own neck and hang themselves with their own stupidity. So it's kind of fun to watch. So I tend not to even really delete any of that stuff. It's if they start, I don't know, if they start getting shitty with you fine folks in the box, then that's when I'm like, yeah, kick rocks, Buster, hit the bricks, bub. But usually before I can even click on them to get rid of them, you know, Hippie or somebody's taking care of it. So, yeah, shout out to my mods. Hippie Shake, Cousin Vinny, Terry Light, Cousin Vinny is Vincent, by the way, for those of you that are new. Who else is Cousin Vinny he keeps talking about? Some folks are mods so that other people can't block them, which I don't think there's a mod that would block a regular viewer, but I don't know. Yeah, Pound Sand. That's right. Go Pound Sand. Go dig a hole, Buster. Anyway, Holistic Media in the box. Hello, hello. Popping in before hitting the hay. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate that. It's good to see you as always. Good night to you. Don't hit the hay. Maybe lie down softly on it and get all cozy and comfy wumpy there, eh? Sometimes I like to troll the trolls. Like I'll carry on like days and week-long arguments with them. Where I get into these elaborate comments and they get into these elaborate, and then theirs get longer and longer and longer. And they're digging in with those heels, fighting tooth and nail on their mainstream narrative indoctrination, not even willing to entertain the idea of a proposal of a theory or a suggestion, And when it gets to the point when I know that they're they just think they've been stringing me along for 2 weeks, that's when my final reply is usually just a okay, and then that sends them into oblivion. They go crazy. They can't stand it. They're taking all the time to put out their regurgitated nonsense argument that they think is so hyper intelligent. All they get in a response is okay. Yeah, they lose their shit. It's fun. It's real fun. I love it. Anyway, enough blathering about having fun with trolls. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Fighting back with their 5th grade indoctrination. Exactly. Oh, you know it, Kathy. Kathy Broughton in the box says, Frankie, I've seen you do something like that over on LA's live stream. Yeah, it's fun. Only if they be like most people in live stream chats get to be pretty good at ignoring a troll or recognizing that it's a bot. So after a while, nobody's responding to them, and then they get bored of just spamming the chat, and then they just go off and pick their nose and eat it or whatever they do, or find somebody else to bother, right? But every once in a while, they start getting on people's nerves. So then I like to jump in. Yeah, whether it's on the chat on my own stream or somebody else's. That's a good time. It's a lot of fun.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
DN in the box. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Thanks for shooting in there, Bod. All right, what do you say we get on with this thing here, huh? We're going to be looking at the San Francisco municipal railway system, basically. Their street cars and cable cars, trolleys, their trams. So again, we'll look at the Wikipedia real quick here a little bit, see what is what. Don't take a mid-show break. Do the usual, give you a sneak peek at your midweek vintage footage, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at some more vintage footage of this chicanery. People dodging traffic like they've never seen a horse and buggy before. And we'll look at some photographs. Let's start off here with what do we got here? The cable car system in San Francisco, according to Wikipedia. And again, as a reminder, I just go with the Wikipedia because it's a perfect example of that 5th grade indoctrination that was alluded to earlier by Realm Dweller over on Rumble there. Yeah. So yeah, this is what most people they'll, hey, I want to know about the San Francisco cable car system, the streetcar, the trolley. and whatnot. So, they'll Google it, right? Google has become a verb now. Oh, I just got to Google this, eh? San Francisco cable car system, the San Francisco cable car system, is the world's last manually operated cable car system and an icon of the city of San Francisco. Manually operated cable car system. And again, as a reminder, the cable car, as the name would suggest, is pulled by a series of underground cables that go around flywheels and pulleys and so on and so forth. They ride on rails or a track, like an overhead electric streetcar trolley. But between each track, you see there's a trench that goes underground. And that's where you see that cable, and I don't know, it's some kind of hook system. Anyway, the system forms part of the Intermodal Urban Transport Network, operated by the San Francisco Municipal Railway, which also includes the separate E Embarcadero and F Market and Wharfs Heritage streetcar lines, and the Muni Metro modern light rail system. So they got a whole mishmash of stuff going on in San Francisco. And again, I had no idea. I mean, of course, I know they have, ferry service and they have buses, but I thought they just had the cable car. I used to watch The Streets of San Francisco when I was a kid. Michael Douglas and I'm drawing a blank. You know who I mean. Carl Malden? No. Yes. Anyway, but I didn't know that they had all this other stuff going on. Yeah, did I say mishmash? No, I meant to say mishmash, like a mishmash. But if I said miss, then, I don't know, I'm developing a lisp or something. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, of the 23 cable car lines established between 1873 and 1890, that's pretty early on. Only 3 remain, one of which combined parts of 2 earlier lines. 2 route, from downtown near Union Square to Fisherman's Wharf, and a 3rd route along California Street. So this is the one that we often see the footage of in the old-timey videos, I think. Boss, there's a lot of things go on in San Francisco. Yeah, you said it. You got that right. Pretty good musical scene back in the day, though. Santana from San Francisco. They have that San Francisco Folk and Blues Festival that started in, I believe, the early 60s. That's pretty good. Got a lot of good outdoor blues shows back in the day. They got a lot of them gays, from what I understand. I don't know. I'm not trying to, I'm just saying. Take it easy. I'm just saying. What is it Dave Chappelle says? They got that neighborhood there called Tenderloin, but there ain't nothing tender about it. Hippie Shake in the boxes. I think Herbie Rides Again was shot there in San Fran. I remember seeing the first Herbie. I don't know if I saw the other ones. I probably did. I mean, who doesn't love a semi-sentient Volkswagen Beetle racing? Anyway, while the cable cars are used to a certain extent by commuters, the vast majority of millions of passengers use the system every year as tourists. Yeah, I didn't have time to do it, or otherwise I would. That's one of the first things. You got to go to San Francisco because you got to go on get some rice-a-roni and go on the cable car. As a result, the wait to get on can often reach 2 hours or more. Really? Yeah, I wouldn't be waiting. I know it's northern-ish California, but it's not in the heat, standing outside, wait for. Who am I kidding? I still would. They're among the most significant tourist attractions in the city, along with Alcatraz Island, of course, Golden Gate Bridge, and Fisherman's Wharf. What about the Bay Bridge? Not just the Golden Gate Bridge, but the Bay Bridge. San Francisco's cable cars are listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is one of only 2 street railways to be named a National Historic Landmark, along with the St. Charles streetcar line and Nolens, Louisiana. Oh, that's right, boy. We got damn streetcar down there in the line now. All right, quit screwing around here. History, beginnings. In 1869, Andrew Smith Halliday had that's an odd handle there, bud. I mean, Andrew Smith, sure, yeah, that's fine, but Halliday, it's just unusual, is all I'm saying. Had the idea for a cable car system in San Francisco, reportedly after witnessing an accident in which a streetcar drawn by horses, oh, of course, over wet cobblestones slid backwards, killing the horses. From what I understand, at least by the official story of the horse-drawn streetcars, which I think we all know what I think of that.
Shenanigans.
Oh, they had a manual brake. So the guy, holding the reins of the horses pulling the trolley, if in an emergency, he could pull the brake and pull back on the rein. I don't know. But anyways, this guy witnessed this cockamamie situation, and all of a sudden the light bulb above his hand went off, I guess. And he said to himself, leaping lizards, I got to invent me a cable car type of tram so that doesn't happen no more. So Halliday solicited financial support in 1871 and 1872, and his primary backers were Henry L. Davis, Joseph Britton, and James Moffett. So it took him 2 years to even muster up the gumption to get the cojones to go and ask for money after his idea came to him. Scott Pike in the box. Howdy, Scott. Good to see you, sir. Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Is how would the horses, good point, hippie, shake, how the heck would they get up those hills? Yeah. San Francisco's known for being very hilly, right? Steve McQueen, Bullet, right? Hilly. So why would you even try to have horses pull streetcars full of people up these steep hills in the first place? No, we're going to try it anyways. Oh, dang, it's raining. So the first successful cable-operated street running train was the Clay Street Hill Railroad, which had its inaugural run on August 2nd, 1873. The promoter of the line was Halliday, and the engineer was William Epplesheimer. Nice. Come all the way from Germany to work on the one in San Francisco. Sure, why not? No local fellows can do it, I guess. Both Halliday and Epplesheimer obtained several patents for their work on the Clay Street line. The line involves the use of grip cars, which carried the grip that engaged with the cable. Towing trailer cars, the design was the first to use grips. The term grip became synonymous with the operator. Of course, the guy driving it, I guess, for lack of a better term, is known as a grip. Sure, why not? Makes sense. The line started regular service on September 1st, 1873, and its success led to become the template for other cable car transit systems. It was a financial success, and Halliday's patents were enforced on other cable car promoters, making him wealthy. Do it his way or no way at all. Accountants differ as to the precise degree of Halliday's involvement in the inception of the line. Yeah, but you'll put his name all over the dang article. and to the exact date on which it first ran. Really, nobody bothered to write it down anywhere, is what you're trying to tell us there, people? Wikipedia is trying to tell us that the city of San Francisco didn't have a secretary in the city council that would record historic or monumental events for posterity for the city. So they just say, we're not sure on the exact date or how much this fellow was involved, but guaranteed that it was somewhere around here by that guy. Anyway, I skipped ahead, unfortunately, because, that's what I do. I screwed it up. Forgive me. So, accounts differ, yada, yada, yada. According to the franchise granted by the city, operations were required to begin by August 1st, 1873. A retrospective published in 1895 stated the single car was run over the line at 4 a.m. in the morning of August 1st, with few witnesses to ensure the franchise would not expire. One of those. Where Marvel Studios keeps making and remaking really crappy, exceedingly crappy Fantastic Four movies just so that it can hold on to the rights of the property in the film industry. They don't want to lose it. So they decided to do it at 4 a.m. with a few witnesses. But still none of the witnesses wrote nothing down or took a photograph. There were plenty of cameras back then, 1895. You could get them at a JCPenney in 1895, a camera. Oppenheimer would later bring suit against Halliday and the Clay Street Hill Railroad in June 1877 over patents, but dismissed it voluntarily the following March. Well, somebody put the squeeze on him, maybe. Well, that could very well be. That would probably be the excuse, right? Is that we had that terrible earthquake and then subsequent fire. So, that would explain that, is what they're trying to tell us, I reckon. But I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be too obvious or anything. All I'm saying is,
I don't believe you.
Anyway, expansion. The next cable car line to open was the Sutter Street Railway, which converted from horse operation in January of 1877. Oh, yeah. Famous for their horse-drawn. That's a lovely streetcar, by the way. With the wood and the brass. Classy. I've ridden in a few of them. And let me tell you, they're a little rickety in terms of you kind of rock in them as they sail or coast along the lines, but they're pretty smooth, and the seats in them are like super comfortable, like in the old world ones, the old timey ones, like really padded seats. So when you sit in them, they're all, they're very comfortable. Not like modern streetcars and electric trams and stuff. Brutal. So this line introduced the side grip and lever operation, both designed by Henry Casebolt and his assistant Asa Hovey, and patented by Casebolt. This idea came about because Casebolt, did not want to pay Halliday's royalties of $50,000 a year for the use of his patent. You got to pay that annually. And earlier in the article, they said the business was profitable. So even after paying this guy $50,000 a year back in the 1870s, 1880s, they're still making a profit. That's a lot of money back then. The side grip allowed cable cars to cross at intersections. Oh, but I thought the city was mandating that everybody had to use Halliday's system. So why is this guy able to just use a different system? I don't know. Sounds fishy. In 1878, Leland Stanford opened its California Street Cable Railroad, Cal Cable. This company's first line was on California Street and is the oldest cable car line still in operation. In 1880, the Geary Street Park and Ocean Railway began its operation. The Presidio and Ferries Railway followed 2 years later. It was the first cable company to include curves in its routes or routes. The curves were let-go curves, in which the car drops the cable and coasts around the curve on its own momentum. See, now to do that, you have to have some kind of manual braking system. And it looks to me like a lot of these old streetcar cars themselves are old world tech that they couldn't figure out at first, so they hooked horses up to them. So again, it would have some kind of manual braking system in case of emergency. There's no way those horses should have slid down a wet cobblestone street and died because there was no underground cable pulling these things. It's redonkulous, man. Anyways, in 1883, the Market Street Cable Railway opened its first line. This company was controlled by the Southern Pacific Railroad and would grow to become San Francisco's largest cable car operator. At its peak, it operated 5 lines, all of which converged on Market Street to a common terminus at the ferry building. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a beautiful old ferry building. We've seen that cable car footage ending there many times. At least I have. It's been AI colorized and improved, but I don't like that AI stuff, to be honest with you. I like the original footage. During rush hours, cars left that terminus every 15 seconds. Wow, Anyways, it goes on to talk about a bunch of other municipal railroads opened up, and then it gives you this chart of what the company was when they opened and how much, like how large their routes and extensive their lines were and all that. Evolution of motive of power. Here we go. Originally, the cables were powered by stationary steam engines, underground steam engines. For its initial 3 cables, the Ferries and Cliff House Railway constructed a 3-story structure to house 2 450 horsepower or 340 kilowatt coal-burning steam engines. Also, they were above-ground engines. The building was complete with a 185-foot tall or 56-meter smokestack to vent away the heavy black smoke created by the Welsh anthracite coal that the company burned. Yeah, because American coal just ain't going to cut it. What the hell? Why would you bring... No offense to Wales, they're hippie, but why are we bringing coal from Wales? Because the world's best is coal. Yeah, that's fine, but doesn't the expense of buying it and shipping it outweigh the efficiency of the higher quality coal? I don't know. Scott Pike says every 15 seconds? Yeah, well, according to Wikipedia, yeah. Channel 53 says, I bet they were kind of loud from the street. Well, I would say no louder than a modern city bus going by. Maybe some vibration. So if you live on or on the street or maybe a block away from a street that has a modern electric, commuter train of some kind, like Calgary's got one, down 7th Avenue downtown. And its line is maybe, I don't know, 100 yards from my building behind me. So in the summer with the window open, I can hear it going kind of coasting by like that. It makes kind of a sound. But in the winter with the window closed, I can't hear anything. Now at street level as it goes by, you do feel a little bit of a very, very slight vibration in the sidewalk or what have you. Now, of course, by the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, when this old world tech had been reverse engineered and was being used, on a much larger scale, and now had been kind of retrofitted, modernized, and expanded on. I don't think we could do it the same way as they were in the old world. A lot of times these trams or streetcar trolleys ran along brick roads, and the rails were in the brick on the brick roads. And I think that has brick rather than a blacktop pavement has something to do with it, maybe. Easement of the vibration and the sound, or easement of the vibration and absorption of the sound, maybe, or something, or buffering of the sound. I don't know. Dragon Sage says, my grandfather was a coal miner and mine manager in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Oof, that's a rough way to make a living. Hats off to the guy. That's tough work. Hippie Shake says, funny how they never moaned about climate change back then. Yeah, we'll just build the smokestacks taller so the black soot and smoke doesn't rain down on everybody so much. The wind kind of carries it. The next town will get it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yo. Anyways, expansion of service required 2 additional 500 horsepower coal fire steam engines in 1890. Coal consumption in 1893 was about 10 tons per day. The system was converted from coal to oil burning in 1901. Took them long enough. And the lessened amount of smoke allowed the smokestacks to be shortened to 60 feet or 18 meters. This shortened smokestack still stands at Washington Mason Car Barn today. Electric energy was introduced in 1912 when a 600 horsepower General Electric, of course, GE, that or Westinghouse. This motor came online. By 26, all steam operation of the cable ended when a second electric drive was installed, a 750 or 560 kilowatt General Electric motor. With the reduction in the number of cable car lines, the single 750 horsepower electric motor was eventually able to take over the job of running all of the lines. So they run all the lines now with just one engine. Mind you, it's 750 horsepower. Funny how it only took 2 horses to pull a car back then, was what you're telling us, but now it's taken 750 of them. It's a lot of horses. Hey, horse, can you get 749 of your friends together? We got to pull some cars. Why don't you just put cables or electric? No, we got to use horses first, so that you guys can slide on the streets in the rain, because it's right steep and whatnot around here, bud. It's weird. Oh, the whole town belonged to this. So it was so Sydney, Nova Scotia was founded as a mining town, like it was a corporate town, a company town. That's one of the narratives Calgary has too. It was a railroad town. It's a CP rail town. But then the other narrative is, no, it was a Northwest Mounted Police fort outpost or fort. And then the other narrative is, no, it was a Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Company outpost. And then the other one was, no, it was a mecca for cattle ranchers back in the 1870s and 80s. You know how it goes. Old World Michigan giving us what he thinks there, and you know what? I know exactly what you're thinking, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Absolutely.
Oh, shit!
That's a lot of horse dung to pick up, too. If they had all these streetcars being pulled by horses, they got to pick up a lot of horse manure. Road apples is what we call them. Anyways, of course, the decline. The first electric streetcars in San Francisco began operation in 1892 under the auspices of the San Francisco and San Mateo Electric Railway. By the beginning of 06, many of San Francisco's remaining cable cars were under the control of the United Railroads of San Francisco, although Cal Cable and Geary Street Company remained independent. Blah, 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 blah. 1906 San Francisco earthquake. The quake and resulting fire destroyed the powerhouses and car barns of both the Cal Cable and URR's Powell Street lines, together with the 117 cable cars stored within them. The subsequent race to rebuild the city allowed the URR to replace most of its cable car lines with electric streetcar lines. By 1912, only 8 cable car lines remained, all with steep grades impassable to electric streetcars. In the 20s and 30s, those remaining lines came under pressure from much improved motor buses of the era, which could now climb steeper hills than the electric streetcar. By 1944, 5 of those cable car lines had survived, the 2 Powell Street lines, by then under the municipal ownership, and part of the Muni, and 3 lines owned by the still independent Cal Cable. So then, you get a bunch of people that want to close it down, shut her down there, bud. We got buses now. And then, people that want to keep them going. And that's basically the happy medium of how we get this. There you go. There's what most people think, at least as a Canadian. Like I said, a sheltered Canadian up here. When I think San Francisco cable cars, this is what I think. Rice-A-Roni. There you go. I didn't realize they had the overhead electric cable ones. So link below. Yeah, hey, you know what? Let's look at some photos actually while we're on this. Wikipedia's always got some crazy photos. Yeah, of course, there you go. Ding, ding. Right? I mean, they are nice cars. Are these new cars that they're made to look old? I'm sure some of them in their fleet are newer than others. The hell is going on here? View of Clay Street showing the Wire Railroad. You got this cockamamie contraption here pulling what looks like an omnibus almost. This might be a steam engine pulling I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why you have 2 different vehicles. I don't get it. Yeah, there you go. There's a turntable here. So it gets to the end, turns, and off they go. The guy can just push it. It's pretty cool. Hyde Street during reconstruction work in 1983. Wonder what's underneath all of this. Oh, looks like there's some red brick peeking out over here. Rice-A-Roni. Another turntable shot. I think this is what they used to have here in my neighborhood, here in Sonalta, with the old Calgary Municipal Railroad. They used to come to its terminus, I guess, kind of sort of at the end of the line in this neighborhood, just a block from where I live. And so I think it was either a small loop or a turntable, but most likely a turntable like this. And then it would return back from whence it came on the same line in the opposite direction on one of these things. So there's your trench for the cable and then your rail line here and here. There you go. Section of cable used around 1900 on the now defunct Hayes line. That's an impressive cable. I agree, Hippie. Hippie shakes his beautiful old car. Channel 53 says the passenger car before looks top heavy. Let's have a peekaboo. These older ones look like they have a set of windows up in this extended portion. This one has it. This one maybe has it, but then they put the sign in front of it. I mean, they are lovely. I mean, they're probably one of the most recognizable, municipal rail systems. So there's the grip, not the guy, but the implement. Yeah, I agree. Holistic Media says they are beautiful. Yeah. Babylon Fox. Stephanie says rice aroni, the San Francisco treat, but no one is sure why. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Realm Dweller over in Rumble says, then we get buses everywhere. Yeah, then we get buses everywhere, and then they want to go back to rail. Wash, rinse, repeat. Yep. Yeah, it's like here in Calgary. They got rid of the old streetcar trolleys by 1950. And then by the 80s, they're like, actually, by the late 70s, they started talking about, we need a streetcar trolley or some kind of municipal railway through his here place. Of course, no one thought to raise the point of, we had one just a couple decades ago, a-holes. Oh, there's your token to board the cable car. Paula and Mason Street, Fisherman's Wharf. You gotta wait 2 hours to do that, eh? Yeah, you know what? Probably worth it, actually. At least for me, it would be. But I'm a sucker for trains and trolleys and whatnot. An interior view of the powerhouse. Wow. So they're still using these old machines. Look at the size of the flywheels on those things. Wow. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. That is impressive. That is impressive. So yeah, links below for that one. The Wikipedia for the San Francisco streetcar system, I guess. What do we got here? This is the Clay Street Hill line? The Clay Street Hill Railroad, excuse me. The Clay Street Hill Railroad. That's the one that had this goofy photograph that's like, what in Sam Steele's going on here with this cockamamie nonsense? But it was the first successful cable-hauled streetcar. Cable-hauled. It was located on Clay Street, a notably steep street in San Francisco in California, United States. First operated in August 1873. The company itself was short-lived, but the underlying technology in its propulsion system set a template for similar systems worldwide. But I thought it was based on a pre-existing German system or whatever. So why does it got to go from Germany to San Francisco only to go back around on the world? See what I'm saying? The line was initially advertised to potential bond buyers as a normal horse car line, though one which could contend with a formidable 380-foot or 106-meter rise in 6 city blocks. That's steep. They're not saying what percentage grade that is, but that's a steep grade. The main promoter of the line was Andrew Smith Halliday. Oh, there he is again. And the engineer was William Eppelsheimer. Accounts differ as to exactly how involved Halliday was. Yeah, we got that part already. One version has him taking over the promotion of the line when the original promoter, Benjamin Brooks, of which there's nothing available, failed to raise the necessary capital. And in another version, Halliday was the instigator, inspired by a desire to reduce the suffering incurred by the horses that hauled streetcars up Jackson Street from Kearny to Stockton. But I thought the idea came to him when 2 horses died in the rain going up a steep one. Now he's saying that he was inspired because of well, I guess it's kind of the same thing, suffering by the horses. But there's differing accounts, you see, because again, the company's own documents, I guess, neglected to say who did what. These railroads are famous for their time, the keeping of the time, adhering to the time. We got a tight schedule here, boys. Tight schedule. We got to get to the next stop. But with all that attention to detail, we're not sure who, what, when, and where. Great. That's fantastic. You know what? I'm just going to say it.
That doesn't make sense.
Oh, and then there's more. There's also doubt as to when exactly the first run of the cable car occurred. Franchise required a first run no later. Oh, yeah, this is when they give the 4 a.m. thing. So the design, the line involved the use of grips. Okay, we know that. Legacy. Today, none of the original line survives. However, grip car 8 from the line has been preserved and is now displayed in the San Francisco Cable Car Museum. The railroad was designated as a California Historical Landmark number 500. The landmark marker being placed in Portsmouth Square. At the site of the eastern terminus near the corner of Clay Street and Kearny. By the way, if you're a local in San Francisco and I'm missing out or you've got something to add, please, please let it fly in the chat, in the box. If you're watching it after the fact, comment below. Please, let me know. In fiction, aha, here we go. Herbie rides again. Herbie rides again. You called it. You called it, Hippie. Herbie rides again. Was that Hippie? I think that was Hippie. All right, what do we got here? One last link here real quick, and then we'll take a mid-show break. These are just some of the references made from the original article on the original Wikipedia. So I just kind of wanted to just kind of see what they said as well, right? Because there were so many different companies operating simultaneously. Some of them only operated on one street for a few blocks, and then that was it. It's weird how it was supposedly set up back then. The Market Street Railway Company was a commercial streetcar and bus operator in San Francisco. The company was named after the famous Market Street of that city, which formed the core of its transportation network. Over the years, the company was also known as the Market Street Railroad Company, the Market Street Cable Railroad Company, and the United Railroads of San Francisco. Once the largest transit operator in the city, the company folded in 1944, and its assets and services were acquired by the city-owned San Francisco Municipal Railway. Oh, so somehow mysteriously an independent transportation company just goes belly up, and then the city just buys it. It's not suspicious at all. Anyway, many of the former routes to exist into the 2020s, but are served by buses. The company should not be mistaken for the current Market Street Railway, which is named after its predecessor, but is actually a legally unconnected nonprofit support group for San Francisco's heritage streetcar lines. Oh yeah, here we go. This is funny. History: steam and horses. The franchise for what would become the Market Street Railway was granted in 1857 to Thomas Hayes. Yeah, we knew that. The line was the first railway to open in San Francisco. Oh, on Independence Day, the 4th of July, 1960, as a Market Street Railroad Company. The initial line ran down Market Street and Valencia as far as Center Street, later 16th Street. I don't know what that means geographically, but if you know, you know. Traction was provided by steam power as steam dummy locomotives pulling a trailer car. So that's what that photo was. It was a steam locomotive engine, basically, pulling the passenger trolley or tram. Four Portland gauge tank locomotives were built by San Francisco's Oblivion foundry. Locomotives 1 and 4 were 24 feet or 7.3 meters long, with engine, baggage, and passenger compartments driven by the front wheel only, a 022 setup on those things. Locomotives 2 and 3 were 18 foot or 5.5 meters on a 040 system with a baggage compartment. Both types pulled 40 foot or 12 meter double truck trailers with seating for 64 passengers. Baldwin Locomotive Works built two 0x4x0 steam dummies in 1880 to operate over the standard gauge railway extension from Valencia Street to Castro Street until 1888. All right, get this. Horses began to replace steam as traction, in other words, as the mechanism to pull, in 1867. They're going backwards in their tech. They went from steam power, which to me is more advanced, to horse. They didn't go horse, steam, electric. They went steam. Oh, we backpedaled a few generations to horse, and then we jumped to electric. Get the hell out of my face with that nonsense. Do you mean to tell me they had advanced steam power first and all that's involved with boilers and steam engines and all of that, and then they just go to horses, which would require a larger infrastructure? You got to stable and feed and bed and water all them horses. Like I said, you got to pick up all the horse shit.
What the hell is going on around here?
Old World Michigan says, are you joking? That's, well, according to the Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia. Yeah, I agree. 100%, Kathy. Shenanigans. Dragon Sage says they scammed investors into getting it all working while saying they were building it. They didn't build it. I think, yeah, they didn't build shit. No, I think they just... I think they did eventually reverse engineer some stuff. But, you know, it was found, I believe, as some kind of pre-reset technology that already existed. Got partially obscured, buried, destroyed in a reset, in what would be San Francisco's previous reset, their local reset, not some realm-wide cataclysm. Just bad enough so that basically everybody's gone, and then they can rebuild the narrative of, oh, the 49ers came here to find gold, and then the city just sprang to life and exploded as a boom town, and then we came in and built all the infrastructure. I agree. Channel 53 says, that's weird. It went steam to horse. Yeah. Just very... very strange. Very strange. Anyways, they began to replace it in 1867. In 1895, the company placed a newspaper advertisement in the San Francisco Examiner offering horse cars for $20, 10 without seats. Many of these became the basis for the impromptu community built from streetcars called Carville by the Sea. So this neighborhood just kind of sprang up out of this whole side hustle industry. Okay. Water the Tree says, illogical. Yes, highly illogical, Captain. Cousin Vincent in the box says, that reminds me of UAP channel. Gold! Yeah, that's right. Gold! Well, you know, it's from the Gold member from the Austin Powers. Following the opening of the cable-hauled Clay Street Hill Railroad in 1873, pressure grew to convert the city's horse car lines to the new form of traction. So in 1882, Leland Stanford and Associates bought the Market Street Railroad Company and converted its lines to cable. In the process, the company's name was changed to the Market Street Cable Railway Company. This company was to grow to become San Francisco's largest cable car operator. At its peak, it operated 5 lines, all of which converged onto Market Street to a common terminus at that there beauty of a ferry building. During rush hours, terminus every 15 seconds. There we get it again. However, transit technology was still moving along, and the new electric streetcar quickly proved to be cheaper to build and operate than cable car, and capable of climbing all but San Francisco's steepest hills. So again, they kind of regress. Like if the cable is working and is the only system that's going to be able to pull you up them hills, aside from the steam puller, but that you already regressed and went back from that to horse, and oh no, horses are slipping, falling, and dying. So we better put cables. So they put cables that can go anywhere in San Francisco. All the steep roads, no problem. Robert is your mother's brother. But then they decide to eliminate some of those and convert to electric that can't go up there anymore. So again, they like to take one step forward and two steps back in San Francisco, I'm guessing. I don't know. Again, I'm not making fun of anybody that lives in San Francisco. I've been there. It's a beautiful city. Lovely people. I'm just saying that this cockamamie story is got more holes than the finest Swiss cheese. You know what I'm saying? Ubu in the box. Ubu Khan. Howdy, howdy. How's she going there, bud? So anyway, it goes into how they consolidate and all these companies merge and buy each other out, yada, 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 to the point where there's only a couple of companies. Then, okay, buses time. But I encourage you to kind of read through this. Again, they've got the charts of all the dates and where the lines and where they went and how it was operated. It is very interesting, if not for anything else, that's good for, some shits and giggles, right? There's a couple of the links that we already looked at. There's a few more here. So it is very interesting. Again, I would encourage you to check it out for, at least, if not for anything else, a chuckle. So where are we at here? Just coming up on a quarter past the hour. So we've been going for just over an hour here now. I think we're going to take a mid-show break. Give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage video. If you're new to the channel, and we've seen quite a few new friends and faces and names and so on here to the channel. So first of all, thank you and howdy and welcome. Second of all, if you're new here, or as a reminder, for the live show, every mid-show break, I give you a little sneak peek at your upcoming midweek video, which every Wednesday is a vintage footage, old-timey video. I try to keep it Canadian with either the video or the music that I edit into the thing. And that comes up every Wednesday. The older the better. I try to find some, old original black and white footage and set it to some catchy tunes and whatnot. Friday, you get boots on the ground. And then Sunday back here for the live show. So your vintage footage coming up for this week is, again, it's, I did a poll a while ago about some of you fine folks' favorite Canadian artists, and Neil Young ranked right up at the top. So this one's a good one. Smoke them if you got them. Put on your ear goggles. This one's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. It's 4:20. This is Old World Farm Tech from between 1919 and 1923. Again, 4 minutes, 20 seconds, 4:20. And we'll see you on the other side. Stick around. Be right back. All right, everyone? Cheers.
It's a new song I wrote about my ranch, and there was an old man living on it. I don't know if you have things like that here, like foreman on ranches. He's like an old caretaker, takes care of all the cows, fences and everything. So I wrote this song for him. my life, I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life, 24 and there's so much more. Live alone in a paradise that makes me think of two. Love lost such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. My life, I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. I want look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Lullabies, look in your eyes, run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. I've been first and last, look at how the time goes past, but I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you. My life, I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. I want look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Oh man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you were.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. How's it going? Thank you very much for shooting in, joining me here for another live one. New West Reset Live, episode 132, San Franciscan, Pedestrian, Oblivion. Another in the series of Pedestrian Oblivions. I think this is the 5th or 6th one now. It's where we take a look at some old-timey film footage of street scenes. And people are just, well, they're doing the 3Ds of dodgeball amongst traffic. Like they don't even know to watch where they're going. They're ducking, dodging, diving, dipping, and dodging. So the top half of the show, we had a look at the official story according to the Wikipedia, just of the infrastructure in general around some of the municipal railway systems and lines in San Francisco at the turn of the last century, you know, from 76-ish to, well, the present day, but, you know, through the 20s, and then they start phasing them out into buses. Nary a few left, as is usually the case. And then we just had a mid-show break. Gave you a nice little sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage. Some old world farm tech. Ubu Khan, What's the intro tune? Who's the artist? Okay, the intro tune is Gordy Johnson from Big Sugar. Absolutely correct. Dragon Sage. That's kind of my channel's theme song is All Hell for a Basement by Big Sugar. But for the vintage footage, I wanted to sound old-timey, so I found a version of Gordy Johnson playing it acoustic. Just him, without the band backing him up. And he was playing it in front of his barn somewhere in his property. I think he lives somewhere in Manitoba still, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least he has an acreage or a farm out there anyway. So it sounds kind of old-timey. And then for the video itself, absolutely even. Kathy Broughton in the box got it right. Old Man, Neil Young. That was a live version. And I don't know. I think, howdy Curtis. I think Curtis has got it. Live on the BBC. I think so, actually. I think that's the version. Yeah, I would agree. Hippie Shake says Amazing Machines. Yeah, that too, right? Channel 53 says, oh, I'm always surprised those belts don't slide off those. Yeah, well, the wheels are like a pulley wheel. So it's got kind of a indent in the middle of the wheel. You know what I'm saying? So the belt sits, it seats in there. It sets in there. But sometimes they slip. You know, like your old fan belt or your old alternator belt, and you get that squealing sound, you know, in your old Chevy. Same thing. But my granddaddy used to take blackstrap molasses, and he'd smear it on the inside of that belt there, and it would grip. Figure that one out. Yeah, basically, right? DN says, all this run by a hamster wheel. Yes, that's right, hippie. I noticed that about any living being in the really old footage. You know, sort of pre-WW1 or right around the 20s-ish is all the people, all the livestock. Even if you see a dog running around in the street, they look healthy. You're not seeing ribs on the horses or the mules or the dogs, you know. Thank you. Old World Michigan in the box is great tune choice. Yeah, sometimes those belts snap. That's bad news for everybody. You don't want that kerschwap, and then you get nailed with that thing. Oh, that's rough there, bud. That is rough. Babylon Fox says, I forgot Neil Young was Canadian. Well, he's lived in California for a long time. I don't know if he still lives in California. But yep, he's Canadian. Just like Joni Mitchell. Just like that band called The Band. They used to back up Bob Dylan back in the day, and then they did their own thing, you know. Take a load off Annie. You know, the band. They're Canadian. Except for, God rest him, the drummer and one of the lead vocalists, Levon Helm. He was from Arkansas, I believe. But all the other members of the band are Canadian. Off the hook in the box says no fat people. Yeah, you're hard pressed to find people that are what we would consider obese or overweight. Until you get into video footage of garden parties of the upper echelons of high society, then they're carrying around a few lbs extra, if you see what I'm saying. Because, well, Queen Victoria was not exactly known as a beanpole.
Oh, I say that's quite insulting, and that will be enough out of you. We are not amused, loyal subject, at your playful banter at the expense of the royal and rightful truly monarch and the crown that is Queen Victoria. Stop it. Stop it now at once. I command you, as your royal sovereign, Queen Victoria,
Anyway, thank you for being here. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't already, please do the things. And if you already have, thank you very much. Appreciate your support. What do you say we get into, let's do the video footage first, what we're all here for, the Pedestrian Oblivion, and then we'll wind it down with a nice little, small little photo folder. What do you think? What's going on here? Levon Helm, yes. Great drummer, you know. Dragon Sage says, I saw Levon Helm with Daniel Lanois in Hamilton. And it was mind-blowing. That's not Dan Lanois, by the way, to all my American friends. That's Daniel Lanois, French-Canadian musician and producer extraordinaire. Produced a lot of legendary Canadian musical acts, Tragically Hip, Neil Young, your vintage footage from this past Wednesday, Robbie Robertson, who was a member of the band, Danielle Lanois. Anyway, let's look at the footage I've got here. Now, it's, as mentioned, as touched upon at the kickoff to the show here, it's short but sweet. It's, first of all, where is it? Where is it? Now I got to find it. Not sure. Hold on. Experiencing technical difficulties here for some reason. Ah, there it is. When I saved it, my computer that's supposed to put it in one folder automatically put it in another folder that I don't put stuff in automatically. So it's for some reason my PC's playing some funny games with me. We'll call it shenanigans. That's what it is. That's what we're going to call it.
Shenanigans.
Anyway, got it. Good to go here now. Sorry about that, people. It's amateur hour here on the show. We just can't have nice things go smoothly. San Franciscan Pedestrian Oblivion. I think it's 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes of footage. This is from 1905, if memory serves. So I think the best way to do these Pedestrian Oblivion videos is not to have any music or anything in the background, just to observe, and we can just kind of comment on the craziness going on in the street scene. Please feel free to let them fly in the box with what you're seeing. And I'm going to pause every once in a while and throw in my 2 cents, of course. So again, this is mostly Market Street. And again, this is not a camera mounted on a streetcar or cable car or a trolley, a tram. This is mounted on an automobile, a vehicle that's doing the, which I think is supposed to be later that same day or maybe the next day, a Roosevelt parade route. So they're basically riding the parade route, but it looks like the parade is coming up quickly because there's people everywhere, there's decorations everywhere, there's people holding signs, hey, Roosevelt, whoopee. So anyway, Dragon Sage says Lanois' solo album called Shine is epic. Ah, very good, thank you. Off the Hook says Rush. Yes, a lot of people love Rush as well, actually. I think Rush, Neil Young voted #1, and Rush, I believe, voted #2. So, yeah, Rush are great. Kathy Broughton says, I've seen Rush too. Great show. Yes, rest in peace, Neil Peart, one of the greatest guys to beat the drums that ever walked the earth. All right, let's get going with this thing here. So again, it's mounted on a car, not on a tram or trolley or cable car. So you can see there's tons of people lining the streets already here. A lot of crowds. This guy's just walking right back to the. You're supposed to get out of the road, buddy. You see that guy? Just dart across in front of the car, and that's fine. People walking down the middle of the street. You can tell they're not used to cars yet. And then the horse and buggy just cutting right in front. Come on, man. Let's see that again. Just all the time in the world, eh? Just boop-be-doop, be-doop, be-doop. Then the car makes a turn here and just about runs over about 6 people. You see a lot of people start to cross from the left of the screen to the right, and then they see the car coming. Whoa! I guess in 1905, no one has heard of, hey, buddy, look both ways before you cross the street there, eh? Your mama and daddy never taught you that, or what? Bah says that Shania Twain was something when she came out, but not musically. Well, that's a niche. You know, Canada's big with the country music, and that was kind of some of the early new country, which is like country pop. Let me tell you something. She's pretty easy on the eyes. Still is. She was the parade marshal for the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede Parade here just about a month back. Shania Twain. She sold a gajillion records. So you know what? Again, she's for me, it's not my type of music either. But you got a tip of the hat to Shania. Celine Dion is not my kind of music either. But again, you got to tip the hat to the lady. Famous all around the realm. Gotta say, I got tired of the Titanic love song theme that she did there because they play that to death. But yeah, you know. Seems like it. It's a freaking lunch hour. Dragon Sage says it seems so staged. Well, it's there. Everybody's getting ready to see President Roosevelt, right? So this is the parade route. This guy's parked his buggy right in the middle of the street. Sure, that's fine. Not a problem. But you can see you've got, again, this camera's on an automobile, and I think we do see a couple of other jalopies, old cars. You got horses and buggies, you got pedestrians, you got bicycles, and you have the trams or the trollies, the streetcars. These aren't the cable ones, I don't think. These are the electric ones. But I'm like, hang on a second here. Why wouldn't you look before you cross with bicycles, horses and buggies, cars, and trolleys? Why wouldn't you look before you start stepping to the street? No, it's fine. See this guy? Whoa, man, almost died. Yeah, you almost got deleted, bub. Of course, ladies with, the big hats with dead birds and flowers on them. The guy in the car is no peach either. He's just plowing through the people as they're trying to cross the street. Like these people, some of them are crossing on a corner, at an intersection like you would do today on a modern crosswalk, right? You wait for the walk, don't walk, and all that jazz. They didn't even have that back then. In fact, I don't even see any cops controlling the traffic. But people look like they are crossing at corners or at intersections. And still, this car just motors through the crowd like they're a bunch of climate change protesters, and this guy's late for his job. Get out of the road, you idiots, and quit protesting in the middle of the highway. Just, ooga, look out, everybody. I'm coming through. See, and here's where it gets real obvious, because you'll have long stretches where everybody's just standing and waiting, and everybody's just gawking and slack-jawed at the vehicle with the camera on it mounted on it going by. But every once in a while, you get some oblivious pedestrian that just steps right out without even looking. And you're like, hold up there, bud. Watch what you're doing. Watch what you're doing there, bud. Leafy in the box says, hi, all. Howdy, Leafy. Good to see you. Realm Dweller over on Rumble says, in all fairness, it was pre-fluoride in the water days, so people's reflexes were sharper back then. You gotta laugh to keep from crying, but it's funny because it's true. You know what I'm saying? That's not bad.
I wet my jockeys here.
Howdy, Sandra. Sandra Marr in the box. How you doing? All right, let's get back to this. So you're going to see here, like, okay, there's maybe 3-4 people crossing way off in the distance. Everything's fine. Everybody's keeping back. They're waiting for Roosevelt to come by. Everything's looking good. Everything's totally, and then you're going to get some bozo or some kid. There's kids running in the traffic here too. And you're like, whoa there, kid. Who's watching you and who's letting you run into the road? Like, I don't know about you, but I was about 4 or 5 when I already had learned, okay, before I cross to go to my friend's house across the street, there's a dog standing in the road there. You think this guy's going to fetch that dog out of the way? Nope. Hey, buddy, can I pet that dog? How about you move the dog? But yeah, by the time I was 4 or 5, I knew, okay, look both ways before you cross there, little Frankie. Oh, yeah, you better run. You better run. Because you know what he did there? He just started crossing without looking. And then, and actually on the original footage, there was no sound anyways, but I'm sure he either got an auga from the car horn, or he got a, hey, look out there, a-hole. And then he looked after he had already taken 2 steps into the street, and then he has to run to avoid getting hit. Let's watch this again here. See? Just, yeah, I'm fine. Here he comes in. Whoa, hip, ho, 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 whoa. Completely oblivious. This guy's just standing in the road. Get out of the way, bub. People walking down the middle of the street. That guy's walking. There's tram lines, and he knows the trolleys or whatever are coming, the streetcars. But no, I'm just going to stand right in the middle of the tracks here. Unbelievable, man. It's like they were shanghaied. Somebody bopped them on the head. It's like, somebody dropped a big old rock on their head and put a burlap sack over them and shanghaied them and dropped him down in the middle of this big city, and then took his mask off and said, there you go, buddy, you're on your own. And he's all like disoriented and discombobulated and just like wandering around in traffic, dodging bicycles and horse and buggies and trains and jalopies. Look at this guy. Get out of there, bub. Yeah, and kids playing in the street. Sure, why not? Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. You see that? See that one guy? There's two guys that cross here, one in front of the other. One guy that's a little further back, but slightly ahead, makes it. The other guy, I swear, it looks like he gets runded over here. Watch. Whoa! You see that? You see that arm or leg flail? I think that guy got hit. Boom! Right there. This guy who's driving this car is an animal. There's got to be. Well, I guess it wasn't. Oh, a train going by in the back. Do you hear it? Toot toot. I was going to say it's got to be frustrating to be driving a car and then all of a sudden a horse and wagon pulls out in front of you, and like it stops so 8 random dudes can jump into the back of the cart. But I mean, this was a lot more commonplace, obviously, where you had a mixture of all kinds of different vehicles, right? There was overlaps between, gas-powered cars. There were some battery-powered cars. There was horses and buggies, horses and carts, mules, oxen, people on bicycles, people just riding their horse into town. So I guess maybe back then, if you were driving, one of the earliest automobiles, especially back then, again, this is like 05, I think, 1905, you're kind of used to having, a slow-moving horse-drawn cart pull out in front of you. Look at this lazy sumbitch just strolling his horses and coming right across. Sorry, it cuts out there. That's where it ended. But you could just see in this last little bit before it clips to the next scene, this guy's got his couple of horses pulling his carriage. And he's not even giving the old, hey, come on, yeah, no. The cars are coming. Come on, my boy. No. Get on up there, Jim and Jake. No, not at all. All right, so for some reason it cuts there, but it takes a turn. And what do we see? Kids playing in the street. Don't run over that polio kid now. None of us wants to see that. You got some poor polio kid with crutches here, or whatever's going on with this poor little guy. Don't run over this kid now. You already run it over one dude. Yeah, you're not seeing a lot of people whipping their horses to get them going here. It's just a little, it's probably, more often, it's probably just verbal commands. Yeah, come on now. And a well-trained horse, man, that's all you need. You don't need to give them whoopings and stuff. Oh, wait. Is this a horse poop cleaner-upper guy? Ironically enough, at the 3-minute and 33-second mark of the video, I think that's a horse pooper guy, right? You see the polio kid, and then the horse pooper guy right here. Looks like he's sweeping or moving something. You see him? Just on the right-hand side, right there. I think that's an official road apple cleaner. Road apple removal squad. Like, if you're going to cross, I get it. Run across, that's fine. You give yourself plenty of room and you run, perfect. But when you just strolling across, not even looking, like this bozo here, and then this lady. And the ladies couldn't move because they're wearing the bustles and the corsets, and again, those big giant hats with dead birds and flowers on them. These ladies are not sprinting because they can't. At least the men should be able to, get a little bit of a jog in to get across the street. Pooper scooper guy. There you go. Pooper scooper guy. Channel 53 says road apple. And y'all ever heard of elephant knots? I've never heard of elephant knots. Is that another word for manure on the street? Because I don't know if it's like this in the States, but there's parts of Canada that refer to horse droppings in the road as road apples. But I've never heard, I've never heard elephant knots before. Then this guy just pulls out in front of the car, just slower than the day is long. And see, now the car can't pass because there's a streetcar coming on the left and there's people on the right. Oh, no, he's going to pass. Look out now, everybody. Here comes this maniac. We're almost at the end of the footage, by the way. It kind of makes sense if you would just drive behind the trolley the whole time. Like when it stops, you stop, fine. Look at these people just running off the cable car, or the tram, I should say, excuse me. Not even looking, just jumping off. I'll wind it back a bit because I think it's a couple of kids. Again, you got these kids just running wild in the streets of these big cities. No guardian, no parents, no grown person to help them out. Want to go into the big city for the day, Timmy? I'll take you. Nope, none of that. It's here's your token. Get on the tram and fend for yourself. Should I look both ways before I cross? Nah, you'll be fine. But watch these two whippersnappers just come bouncing out of this thing and not even looking. One, boop, 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 two, boop, 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 boop. He looks after the fact. Oh, look, I almost got hit. Man alive. And again, these folks know the car is coming. They're in no hurry. Oh, that guy's in a hurry. Yeah, you better put some spring in your step, bub. That one guy realized I'm fixing to die. Not a care in the world. Oh, that one guy realizes, yep. So there you go, and there you have it. A little bit of San Franciscan pedestrian Oblivion. I shouldn't be shocked or surprised by now, because we've done a number of these shows in this sort of sub-series on the live show here, the Pedestrian Oblivion shows, and like I said, by now I shouldn't be shocked or surprised, but every time I'm like, what are these folks doing? What are these folks doing? Oh, that camera was not mounted on a trolley or a tram. Camera was mounted on a jalopy, on an automobile. But there is a lot of footage of the camera mounted on the streetcar. So yeah, that's how you're able to see it weaving in and out of traffic, because it's on a car. Which was I had never seen that footage before, so when I found it, I was pretty happy. I was like, wait a second, this isn't mounted on a trolley. This is mounted on a car. That's new, at least for that time period, right? 1905. Thank you very much. Ubucon says some fun footage. Kathy Broad says awesome vintage clip. Frankie, thank you. Baja says wearing those dresses in California, what a shame. It would be so hot, right? And you know, the ladies' clothing had lots of layers, but the men's clothing did too. Because you would wear an undershirt, and then you would wear your shirt that would button up with fastens that after a while were buttons, but initially were what were called studs. They're kind of like a cufflink, but for the front placket on your shirt. So you'd do those up, and then you would put your collar on, which was a separate piece, and you would attach it with the top button or stud to your shirt. And then you would attach cuffs to the end of your sleeves in the same way. And then you would wear your waistcoat, or vest as we call it now, and then your sports jacket or blazer or suit jacket. So imagine wearing that we see footage like this from all over the realm where it's hotter climates. I mean, in Toronto or in Edmonton, up here in Canada land, where the hottest it's going to get maybe is, low to mid 90s Fahrenheit, which is hot enough in the summer. But imagine in, like Phoenix or Texas, somewhere in Texas, like Houston or something. Someplace where it gets damn hot. Some places in California, and Nevada, and Utah, and Arizona, and, so on and so on. Not to mention other parts of the world where people dressed in bazillions of layers in the summertime. Well, that's the thing, too. Everything was made out of wool or linen or cotton. So, yeah, well, people didn't go commando. Actually, men had two sets of undergarments. You had your what are the equivalent of underwear today, and then you would wear sort of a one-piece onesie type of thing over that. Women often had that too. They would have what today would be, panties, right? Underwear, and then bloomers over those. So yeah, I can't imagine, a really hot day, whether it's dry heat or humid heat, it doesn't matter. You're wearing 4 or 5 layers, and a big giant hat with dead birds and feathers on it. You're going to get hot. And a lot of people are mistaken. They think that everybody was wearing black. Oh, everybody's wearing black. It's black and white footage. Yeah, it looks like everyone's wearing black or white. But trust me, black is one of the most expensive colors to buy fabric in. People were wearing navy blue and medium gray, charcoal gray, browns and burgundies, and people were wearing dark greens. Because to get black, you got to combine like 6 or 7 fabric dyes and mix them together to get black. But even still, you hold a black piece of fabric up to a really bright light, and it's going to look super dark green or dark red or dark blue. It's not actually black. So yeah, a lot of people were wearing, browns, medium brown, dark browns, shades of grays and blues and dark greens. I used to work for a clothing company that dealt with manufacturers that had been in business for 150 years and older. So we had fabric swatches that, hadn't changed in more than a century. And there was a wide range of textures and a pretty wide range of colors. I mean, there weren't dozens and dozens of colors like we see today. But you had your fair share of choices. But the most expensive was black and purple. Black and purple are the most expensive. Realm Dweller asking, wouldn't the footage show more shading though? Some footage does if it is good footage, but when you have some of this 1905 for moving pictures is going back quite a ways, and also the fact that it's mounted on a vehicle that's jostling around, and it was probably a copy of a copy that I then copied. So you're not going to get a lot of the subtle, you're not going to notice a lot of the subtle differences in the hues and the colors. You notice that more in old photographs, for sure. But don't get me wrong, there was an awful lot of, there was a lot more people wearing charcoal gray than there was wearing brighter colors, that's for sure, because it's easier to keep, a duller color like a charcoal gray or a medium or dark brown. It's easier to keep it clean or keep it looking clean. So, yeah. And of course, there's exceptions to every rule, right? It depends on your income. you might only own one suit, right? But if you're some highfalutin fella or some hoity-toity lady, you're going to have a lot more to choose from in your wardrobe or your closet, right? Anyways, let's, speaking of shading and checking out old photos, I do have a small folder here to kind of wrap up the show real quick. Let me just pull that up here. So again, most of these are Market Street, and from late 1890s to roughly 1920s-ish, a few exceptions. But this gives us an idea of just the beautiful architecture that we only really saw from ground level in that Pedestrian Oblivion video. Actually, I don't like sharing it this way. Let me just stop for a second here. Hold on. Because I can't zoom it by doing it that way, and I don't like that. I don't like it. I like to be able to zoom in on some of this stuff so we can see some of the textures and the magnificence of the structures. And again, there's going to be vehicles and people that we can kind of zoom in on too. But yeah, there was colored fabric back then. But it was, let's face it, it's cheaper and easier to run off a bunch of browns and grays, charcoal grays, than it is, bright greens and blues. That's for sure. And to make some colors, you got to mix dyes, whereas, a gray or a brown is going to be a little bit easier. So if it's kind of expensive, you're just going to go with the basics. All right, here we go. So now we can zoom in. Look at this. I mean, they're not playing here. They're not playing on Market Street, people. Wow, just way up here for these columns. You put those columns all the way up there, are you? Okay. And then just the fanciful details in between the columns too. And then you've got, this looks like an opening with a pediment way up here. I could be out to lunch on that, but that's what it looks like to me. Arches all in here too. And then look at this Bank of America building. Looks like a crown. Exquisite. This building here. This one's pretty famous. I forget the name of it. That's lovely too. Look at all these portal dormers in a dome. And then they've got a curved, like there's a curved dormer over the portal opening. And then again, columns and domes here. Outstanding. Even here in the foreground. Beautiful. But already looking very well established. This building looking very aged. This building looks like it has seen some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Another shot from a little bit of a different angle. So you can see after a while they kind of clued in or got hip to the fact that, look, if we paint off an area here for people to stand to wait for the streetcar, then they're not going to get run over by the automobiles. But in that footage that we saw, there was no designated area. People were just jumping on and off, traffic be damned. Look at this baby here. Nice. All kinds of tech up here. And again, these laurel leaf wreaths. And it's got a nice Flatiron type building here as well. This thing's beauty. And already at this point, something tells me, I mean, we've got cars here. So already at this point, something tells me that this has been dumbed down. I bet you it was more highly embellished You know, and probably had maybe little statues or techie bobules or bits up here, and maybe this was a dome or a little tower or something. I mean, we've seen it a million times. E pluribus unum, set up for some kind of parade or something. But I put this because the building in the background here is much more interesting to me than this temporary display. And by the way, all you World's Fair naysayers, this is what a temporary building looks like. So if you mean to tell me that those glorious old world structures and all the World's Fairs that you're telling me are temporary, were actually temporary, they ain't looking like this. This looks like a stage for a puppet show, and that's what a temporary structure looks like. But stuff that looks like this, whether it's the San Francisco World's Fair, the Chicago World's Fair, the London or Paris World's Fair, doesn't matter. Stuff that looked like this, they were calling temporary. Look at this butte. And then, you know, way off in the distance, like they are not messing around in San Francisco. Even right here. This tech poking up everywhere. Absolutely exquisite. Yeah, paper mache. That's right. Brian Metz in the box is paper mache. And it has that look, right? It looks, I mean, it's big. There's the people. It's very big, but very obviously temporary. There's a nice shot of Ferry Landing, Market Street, San Francisco, 1880, or at least that's what it says. So here they've got combined tech. Okay. This to me, I'm not seeing any overhead cables. So this is your electric wires. So this is your cable car. But then back here, they got this poor horse, a couple of horses maybe. Yeah, 2 horses pulling. So if you have this, why are you still using this? Dummies. And actually, if you already had the steam ones, why did you even go back to this in the first place? PCS World. Howdy, howdy. Welcome. And they like their triangular flat iron type buildings in San Fran too. While this one not huge or massively embellished, is still quite a beaut. But something tells me that, yeah, they put this crappy sign in right to the, I think these windows originally were like these windows, and they've mucked about with this thing a little bit. But you know me, said it before, I've said it a million times. I love these buildings that have like an entrance on the front corner, but this one, it looks like they've put a window in and they've put the door here. But I bet you originally this was a door. Look at this, man. Look at this Union Trust Bank building. All this, because you need all that just to, you know, keep your money. Plus, it very obviously has some dugout lower level here that we got to watch out for these oblivious pedestrians. They might fall in here. We better put a fence here. They might get confused and not know to use the stairs. This in the back. Incredible. Just all kinds of stuff poking up out of all of these places too, you know. This place. This ether fencing up here, and then just all of these pediments. This is beautiful. Kind of built on a wee bit of a slope there, eh? So, you know, what's a window here is now a door here, and it's so high up you've got to take 6 stairs to get up. But down at this end, the very last one is a window. And then door, window, door, door, tall door. These have transom windows above them, but you got a tall, this might be window with transom, and then a tall door. Yeah. All this here. Like, that's pretty fancy. You know, all this dental molding under here and everything. I mean, this is a beauty. Not sure why you wouldn't just level this off and have it all one level. You'd think it would be easier to build it that way, but nah, fine. Well, who am I to say? The old Fox Theater. That is obviously a more modern photo, but look at this thing. You kidding me, man? Come on, man. Well, it's fine. We're just going to have shows in here. That's all. And you know, it's just as fancy on the inside. I didn't grab an interior shot of this thing, but you know damn well all this stuff's going on the inside too. And then, you know, a mural on the ceiling and stuff. Stuffed Beagle's got a thing that just started, so I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quick here, but look at this beaut. Again, with the portals, with the curved dormers over them. And then these pediments with columns. And again, all the techie tech. This is exquisite. And it's huge. It's a behemoth. And on the other side of the street, too, you know. Curved brickwork. Yeah, because that's easy. Look at this nightmare. This is where you just jump out of the streetcar and you just run across. Don't even look. You're fine. Totally fine. Nice castle in the background here. Of course, they got to have their crummy painted signs on the sides of these things. They're already starting to knock down some old world. Let's see if we can see anything funny in here. Maybe something here. Looks like there's a doorway or a window here. Hard to say. These elephants? Yeah, it must be a parade because I just spotted me some elephants. I mean, unless that was a thing back in the day in San Francisco. Oh, Circus on Market at Powell. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Just read the label there, Frankie. So this is the shot that we are all used to seeing, that where the camera is mounted on one of these. And it gets to the terminus here, and then it turns, and then it goes back. I never realized what was going on here. I've never seen this before. What's happening here? Like, this is the street level. You can see all the shop and store and building entrances are all at this level. People are walking all on this level. You've got a trolley up on this level. But then it goes down, I don't know, 3.5 feet, 4 feet maybe. And then you've got something here underneath. Like, I just don't know what's going on here. Why do you have two different levels that your trams or trolleys are running on? What's going on here? What are they digging up? Market Street, northeast from Spear Street, 1907. So I don't know. If you've seen this photo before and you know what's going on here, let me know. But I've never seen this, but it looks very weird. It looks like this was the new mudflood street level, and then something's going on, and then they were down here doing something, and then, whoa, we stumbled upon some old track. Well, let's use them. Like, I don't know. I'm just speculating. Boston Ray in the box says, I lived on and around Massachusetts Avenue, is that what that is? For 6 years. It's a nightmare. Cousin Vincent in the box says, I was walking home one day in Boston, and there were 5 elephants walking alone on Massachusetts Avenue. Oh, okay. So you guys are talking about Massachusetts Avenue. Why were there elephants? 5 elephants just walking there. Vinny, what the hell's going on? Was the circus in town? Because, yeah, like Kathy says, elephant walking down the street seems normal to me. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. You can see how some of these buildings, this is 1905, so the very year that we were looking at that footage of Pedestrian Oblivion. It's the same street, actually. Oh, no, this is 35th Avenue. I thought this was Market Street. My bad. My apologies. I tried to... It says Market Street here. Oh, maybe this is the photography studio. T.E. Hecht. And they're on 35th Avenue. But the photo was taken Southside Market Street between 3rd and 4th August 1905. Anyway. Well, these buildings looking really aged already. Like really dark. You know what I mean? The stone looks dark. Yeah, you gotta jerry rig in your dumb sign here on this beautiful... Is that a pyramid with a sunburst on it up there? What's going on? Conical dome. All of this rough-hewn stone. Yeah, just for a billiards hall. It's fine. We're just going to go play some pool. Hey, Vinny, how'd you like to play pool in a place like this? Not bad, huh? Again, Market Street. Something funny is going on here. Like if this is wooden sidewalk, I guess. I mean, fine, so be it. That's kind of a goofy narrative too, but okay, whatever. But what's going on here? Here's the rail line. This is kind of goofy, and this is really goofy. And then you're stepping up to enter here, but then you're going down underneath here and here. Well, there's your sign, guy. Yeah, screw you, buddy. In the background too. Nice. But yeah, this just struck me as odd. I don't know what's going on there. Ah, yes. The old horse-drawn train.
Shenanigans.
Again, funny. Funny, peculiar, not funny, ha-ha, that once they went to electric or cable, the cars look exactly the same. It's just now missing the horse and the harness. That's why it looks to me like this was a rediscovered old tech that until they figured it out, they just hooked horses up to it. Look at this back here with all these bobules on it. But see, you can see here cobblestone, or it's brick, the street. And I think a lot of the streets that would host these lines were paved in paving stone or cobblestone or brick. I think it had something to do with muffling the sound and giving a smoother ride. Look at this chaos. What in the Sam Steele kind of contraption is this? And what are you hauling there, bud? (1905) as well, Market Street. Look at this. It's like a Bavarian castle up here. Again, these curved corners. This entrance is huge. 2 pillars. And just all this in the background, man. It's not the best photo. It's got some damage, but it gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. There's this again. What a beauty, man. Wow. And you get this shit. Nice try, buddy. Nice try. I like the juxtaposition of this sun-kissed billboard with this crappy clock on it. But then you have all this old world beauty in the background. Well, see, now they've added car catchers onto the front. So now if people are darting in front of the trolleys and the trams, that's fine now. Yeah, it took them until the 1930s to figure that out. Yeah, people just keep running out in front of us. They don't even look, man. They don't even look. Well, you better put some cow catchers on the front then, bub. Market Street again from 5th Street. There's the end of the line, the streetcar terminus. These two buildings just look, even amongst these, which are jaw-dropping, these look out of place. And we're not even really seeing any, I mean, there's no modern buildings in here yet, not like today. But even still, nestled amongst other beautifully embellished buildings, these still just look out of place to me, these two especially. Like to be that tall and to have all of that detail. Where these people way down here, I mean, unless you're 2-3 blocks away, you're not even going to see that, man. Outstanding. Yeah, it's going back a ways. It's complete mud and dirt. Market Street, but you can see here, there's still a line. There's a rail line right here. This is the rail line. Just all the muck. Again, these look like wooden sidewalks, but I don't know because there's a street lamp here. So is this just a gas lantern or is it electric by now? I'm not sure. This is 1889. And again, you got these lower openings here, here. This looks like maybe a pavement light, like prism lights, maybe. Possibly here too, and here, and here. This looks like it used to have a nice dome on it and somebody buggered it. Is that the last one? Oh, I guess it's the last one. There you go. There you go. So I think I'm getting ready to wind this thing down. I ran a little long. Sorry, I didn't mean to overlap into Stuffed Beagle's. I think he's doing a premiere right now. So I'm going to wind this down here real quickly, just to let you know a few things coming up for the show here. I've got an extended Boots on the Ground video coming up. Not this Friday the 15th coming, but Friday, August 22nd. Instead of a midnight local mountain time release of a Boots on the Ground video for Friday, it's going to be an hour-and-a-half long mudflood walkabout tour of Drumheller here in southern Alberta in the Badlands with Cousin Vinny. He and I did an exploration of old Drumheller. So an hour and a half. So I'm going to put that as a premiere so we can watch it together on Friday, August 22nd. And that's going to be in the morning, probably either 7 or 8 a.m., again, local mountain time. So make sure you do all the things with the bells and the notifications that don't work. And as we get closer to that date, I'll put it up and you should be able to see exactly what time. But 7 or 8 a.m. local time here on Friday for the Boots on the Ground mudflood walkabout of Drumheller. What else is coming up? Oh, yeah, just this little thing I've been working on for the past couple of months. Reset 1700, my feature-length documentary film. That is going to be coming up in the next month or so. And that is going to be my proposal or my theory as to what kicked off the most recent reset here in this area. Southwestern Canada land and the Pacific Northwest of America in the year 1700, and as the years and decades progressed afterwards. So again, you are going to get coming pretty soon some official trailers for that. Just, to kind of get everybody all get a little taste for it and get you all hyped up. So that'll be coming up this summer, and as well as guys going to try to get a few more road trips out there. Knuckleheads, episode 17, is it? Yes, episode 17 coming up Tuesday, August 12th, 7 p.m. local time, Mountain Time. We're going to be looking at Ottawa, Ontario, the nation's capital up here in Canada land. So make sure you're, again, doing all the things so you can get notified for that one. We always have a good time. Chris from Old World Exploration and myself, the Knucklehead Show. So there you go. I think before we go here, it's time for Kathy's Corner. Kathy sent me some stuff here. Let's see what we've got here. Got a video or two here. This one was, oh yeah, this one was pretty cute.
I have to tell you a secret. I'm pregnant.
What? Are you serious?
What? I thought you wanted kittens.
No, I said mittens. It's getting cold outside.
Jerk.
Hey, don't freaking hit me. Hey, don't bite my butt.
Shut up. I knew you like it.
Yeah, you're right.
Mama! Mama, come here. Brother ate all the cookies. Look, come here. Look at him. Look.
Why you snitching?
He ate all the cookies. Mama, punish him. Look.
Mama, come here, quick. You done ate all the cookies. Look at him.
Your brother's coming upstairs.
Cool. He should make it up here by tomorrow. Shut up.
Hi, handsome.
I'm hungry and I'm tired.
Oh, okay.
What else is new? You always hungry. Zuma, you know I'm 91 and dog years and I got a thyroid problem.
What's wrong? What's wrong? You ready to go outside?
No. Come on. I'm coming. Give me a second. You need motivation? No. You want a milk bone? Stop. How about bacon strips? Stop. Yes? I'm coming. Stop. You know you want these bacon strips.
You know you want these bacon strips.
Fat boy, you better come on get some of these milk bones. You get on my nerves. Your fat boy want them milk bones. Where the milk bones at? Come on, bitch.
Your fat butt want them milk bones. Come on, man. Dogs are the best.
Big old fluffy Sheba. I'm gonna
cats are pretty good, but dogs are the best. I'm sorry. That's me.
show you where the doggy treats at. Just give me one.
Okay.
No, 6 of them. That's your problem. The way you eat, you got uric acid building up. You gonna have gout. Hey, you know what? Hold on. Let me go see if I can find that pet meds box. You need to take your medication.
You need to take your medication. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Oh, there are them's fighting words. Kathy says, cats rule. Yeah. Each to his own, right? Like you said, cats are pretty good. Cats are pretty good. I've had a couple of pet cats in my day. I just a little bit more of a dog. My scales are tipped slightly more toward the dog. Let me just say that. All right, before we go here, we've got one more. This is things are going crazy over in Quebec. The Mounties there in the French part of Canada. There's something going on with them. I don't know what it is, but got some exclusive footage here of some Mounties, some of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police over there in Quebec. And got some footage of them in action, but something was weird. Let's let the video do the talking.
penis in your asshole.
Beg your pardon, sir. I think you must be saying that wrong.
No. The key to life is a penis in your asshole.
I don't think you're saying what you mean to say.
Oh, oui. A penis, you know, to smile, to be happy.
Oh, happiness. Honey, it's... Okay.
In your asshole.
That's...
No, not your asshole. Where you live. Your appartement, your domicile. Your house.
Household.
Ah!
Cats can't make that face, that guilty face like a dog can. Except for that, there's that one breed of cat. I don't know what the breed is called. I just call them Japanese cats because they have those droopy ears, and you only ever see those cats in Japan. All I'm saying is they're Japanese cats, okay? I don't know. But they can kind of look a little bit guilty, but I think the droopy ear really helps them out with that one. But yeah, the dog can really... It's the eyebrows. They can manipulate the eyebrows, and it makes them look totally guilty. Yes, the Super Trooper guys. Broken Lizard. Oh, they're hilarious. They are hilarious. So now you know. Now you know that a penis in your asshole, that's the key to life. Happiness in your household, not happiness in your asshole. You get my drift. So there you go. That is it. I think that is going to seal the deal here for Frankie. New West Reset and New West Reset Live, episode 132. The San Franciscan Pedestrian Oblivion. Thank you very much for winding down your weekend here and joining me for the Sunday Funday show. Woo! If you haven't already, please do all the things to help a fella out. We're real close to 2,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for all your support. Really appreciate it. Again, as a reminder, links below for everything that we've covered today for the show, and also how you can get a hold of a fella. My location map is down there as well, courtesy of Cousin Vinny, as well as the guy's PayPal. Certainly not necessary, but greatly appreciated. And if you make a gift on the PayPal to a guy, well, I'll send you a t-shirt. There's a couple of them out already. Our buddy Vaughn's getting one soon. It's en route. It's en route. Dragon Sage got his recently. So yes, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. We shall see you Tuesday evening, again, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, local time. Knuckleheads episode 17. Ottawa, Ontario, Canada land. Not Ottawa, Kansas, somebody mentioned. Is there an Ottawa, Kansas? I didn't even know that. I have to look into that now. I'm sorry, I can't remember who mentioned that earlier in the chat, but I'd never heard of that before. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's coming up Tuesday. Wednesday, vintage footage. Friday, boots on the ground. And then we'll see you back here next Sunday for the live show. Ubu Khan, guilty. All right, thank you. I'm going to look into that now. Thank you very much. So until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right, everyone? Thanks a lot. Bye.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.